Mm-hmm.
The more you know. Yes, this podcast is still on.
Welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of limit champ or lucky track dog league you run, SCCA or NASA, we don't discriminate. As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussions, tips and tricks, as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing. And whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough, and Chrissy gives us just the tip, we're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
And I'm Mental. And we are Everyone Racers. Thank you all very much for coming and listening to an incredibly well-built bus episode of our podcast. It's episode 303, and the Mercedes-Benz 0303 was a coach manufactured by Mercedes-Benz. 0303, manufactured by Mercedes-Benz from 1974 until 1992. It's also available as a chassis. It was launched in 1974 at the Paris Motor Show, and in 1985, the 0303 was the first bus to offer anti-lock braking. Over 33,000 0303s were built over that 18-year period. Now, if you're not touring Europe or Asia, South America, or even Africa in a reliable, comfortable motor coach, you know what? Even if you are, as long as you're not driving it, you should bust out that E1R bingo card, because unlike the 0303, it was not licensed for manufacture in Yugoslavia and Korea. We warned you, there's a lot of Mercedes coming to 300.
I wonder what kind of bus our friend, I just missed his name. Erling. I wonder what kind of bus he drives. Is it as cute as a 0303?
He's got some bendy buses. So
it's probably not an 0303. They're a little old for being in current
probably
service, but
not.
he may have driven one. He may be a bus enthusiast.
That's
true. He might be. Yeah, these are pretty cool looking. I didn't know what an 0303 was.
I spent a lot of time on these. And in fact, I remember, I think my second or third day in Germany, because the windows go up over the top, and I remember throwing up in one. I was hungover and the sun was just slowly baking me. So, Early, we haven't heard from you in a while.
That's a great story. Good story, bro.
Let us know if you had any of the experiences with the Mercedes buses. Okay. But while we're doing on that, it's time for, I don't know if it's anybody's favorite segment, but I enjoy it anyway because I don't get to see my friends. What you working on? I've never seen this word attached to you, Chris. Please.
Sometimes it does.
We do. We're going to see you this weekend. So that's 2 days from now. What have I been doing? Well, I did a lot of relaxing. We went to the Hamptons and just enjoyed the nice weather, nice friends, good fun, good food.
Had a day of good weather, a day of terrible weather. So actually a whole day.
Flooded streets.
Like wear your bathing suit, legitly wear your bathing suits to load the car. That's how much rain we were going through. Yes.
Yikes.
That was a thing. That's okay. We still had a good time. Played a lot of games.
Then once I got home, I removed some tree branches because I got a lovely notice from the township. They didn't like that some of our tree branches were overhanging the sidewalk a little too much.
Certified freaking mail.
Right.
To tell us to move your branches.
The pine trees along where the trailer is were not that part of the driveway or the sidewalk. They said and I agree, they were hanging over a little bit and encroaching on the sidewalk, but the problem is they were all dying and it looked bad. Now then the trailer would be totally visible. So I had to cut them all off. So now there's just some sticks there's plenty of green up top, but not at the bottom. And now you just see some sticks in front of the trailer instead of trees to hide it, unfortunately. But
I wonder, was that the township or did somebody rat you out?
It was the township's code enforcement officer. Hey, whatever. If that's the best they got, then I'm okay.
Sure. They're not wrong. And then I was like, certified mail, what? Like nobody could just be like, hey, can you just cut these branches? Sure, no problem. Do it. We'll do it. Whatever.
So I cut all the branches, filled up the little utility trailer, which is when it comes in handy as stupid stuff like this. Got rid of that, did the lawn. And then we decided to spruce up our screened-in porch on the backyard there. We haven't done really anything to it in all the time we've owned the house.
I stained it once, but
14 years. Yeah, stained part of it. I think the outside of half of it once. Yes. But the inside hasn't been done. And I never really liked the lights in there because there was like one can light on the wall. And then the previous owner they were very country. They'd made these little like stick vine things along the outside perimeter with some Christmas lights in them. And, they worked. That's why we left them there, but we can do better. So I'm putting
until we took them down. We've been here 15 years, 14 years. Yep. And they worked before then. And we had one part of the strand that might not turn on, but we had to dance. We danced every time they turned on. We were like, this is amazing.
So anyway, I'm putting in LED strips along the sides that are hidden for ambient lighting, and putting in some recessed lighting in the ceiling and replacing the fan that was a wilted flower. Because
I do remember the fan.
Yeah, they decided putting in fiberboard fan blades was okay, and then humidity and gravity. And anyway, so now I'm putting in wooden ones and a new fan. Anyway, so I started to figure out how to do the lighting, run the wiring for all this stuff. And so I popped off a couple of the siding panels on the house part. And then I started to notice some sins of the prior contractors, which led me to take off all the siding on that part, which is wooden siding. The rest of the house is vinyl siding and brick veneer. This part was just cedar clapboards. And whoever the contractors have put this on the house was not original. They didn't put any house wrap under it, which is nice. When they did the wiring for this, they cut some holes in the outer sheathing of the house. They didn't bother filling them all. Yeah, they were just open holes behind the clapboards and things like that. So I'm now fixing those sins before I put up a new wall on that side and put all the lighting in. But it fortunately gave me their hacks that they did not fix is perfect, because now I can just use their hacks for putting the rest of the wiring in before I repair it. So that's nice.
I'll say just dumb luck you didn't get a critter moving into one.
Well, it was behind the clapboards, but still, like when there's a 1/4 inch of wood between the outside and the house, like that's not well insulated considering we live in the Northeast. Anyway, gotta fix all that. But it's yay, here comes the scope creep. So
while you're in there, yeah. Allow me to take you on a tour of my home.
Yes. Welcome to Scope Creep.
Yep.
We are actually now, Vicky is looking at contractors to put the extension on the house because.
Really? Was that the plan?
Eventually, but like now it's, okay, well, we could redo the ceiling, but we should go ahead and just redo this wall or remove this wall and open up, from the living room into the kitchen, which is what the house next door did. And like, well, if we're going to do that, then that way we can have the kitchen completely remodeled and get cabinets like the ones you guys have, the no slam cool cabinets, and have those run all the way down there. And if we're going to do that, we're going to use that space where the washer and dryer are. Well, if the washer and dryer are there, they've got to have a place to go. And Vicky wants a proper laundry room. So we might as well do that because that's all part of the expansion on the side of the house. And then the cool pool cabana and all of that. So yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. That's like redo the whole house.
It is redo the whole house, and we just said the hell with it and committed.
Oh, good. So
seriously, cool. you guys made that house yours in how many years?
Awesome. So 14.
Took a long time.
14. Yeah. So the scope creep that we were working on was that I was like, let's just replace this door that I'm pointing to that's behind me. We've been talking about replacing it for a while. It sticks when it's hot. It's not well insulated. It needs to be we need a new one. We picked one new one out. And I'm like, but the whole wall's exposed. Let's just take that out. He said no. So yes,
it takes a lot of lead time to get a good door. So yeah,
it does. I remember replacing the front door in Georgia, and I didn't take it out until ours got delivered. And even then, that was a 2-day project.
Ours might have been close to. We did the same. Anyway, that is what we're doing. I did all the same thing. I didn't do as much housework and yard work. I relaxed with Chris and friends at in the Hamptons, and then I I have a lot of library things going on. My volunteer job at the library. Mental, I'm sure you're doing something much more interesting. What are you doing?
I'm really, really not. Last year, a guy, Dylan Couch, great guy. Bill Fisher gets a hold of me and says, "Hey, this car's for sale near your house." And it was this absolute punchline of a Ford Fiesta. They wanted like $400 for it. It was going to be a gambler car or something. And I reach out to the person who had bought it. And he's actually a racer, Lemons racer, knew all the same people. He was out here for a conference, bought it as a joke, and was going to drive it home, and then drove it around and went, "I'm not driving a, Ford Fiesta literally across this entire great land of ours." He was back out for another conference, bought a diesel pusher RV and drove it back to North Carolina this time. So I hung out with him for a bit, and he went and recorded an episode of Do or Die with us over there. And then this weekend, Trevor Andrusko, our former guest, IMSA driver, came into town. They were here doing some work-related automotive stuff, and we hung out with them for a bit. And he's got some news that he's not ready to release for public consumption, but I would look forward to having him back quite soon. It's going to be some cool stuff involving IMSA. And then I'm getting ready to go out of town this weekend. And as was mentioned, I don't know if we were recording or not, probably not. This is my busy season. So it is red flag 23-3. And I already had somebody park in my spot.
That was funny.
How do you really feel about that, Mental?
Well, you feel.
I was like what's funny is the whole office was kind of on my side about it. And at 10 o'clock last night, we're all at work, and I'm still salty about it. And and they're coming up with all kinds of great plans. What we're going to do to deal with this problem.
Wow.
So
that's amazing.
So the short version, I put a note on their vehicle, said, "Hey, it's not your spot." They took the note off, left their vehicle in my spot, and then put it into the spot next to mine. Like, I don't know who that is. So then it was a 2-page note taped to the center of their windshield facing inward that said, "No, this is not how this works. You don't take the note off. You moved your vehicle." And as I mentioned to my co-host earlier, the 4-page response, should that vehicle show back up in my spot today, was already typed up on my computer at work, along with the Gorilla Tape that I was going to use to tape it to the front windshield.
This is crazy.
Should this happen again? I'm an old man, and
you are yelling at more than clouds.
I stick my flag in random hills, and I work with a bunch of old people, and we're very imaginative.
This is
100. It's 120 degrees. I have a limp. I'm not walking that far. They gave me a spot for a reason.
Also, the guy
actually
has a pickup truck. That's why he's a dick, right?
Totally. Seriously.
A symbol of him being a dick. Yeah, okay.
Totally trying to intimidate, a Miata. We did come up with another plan. One of the guys I work with his daughter has a 98 Geo that she absolutely loves. And despite his efforts to get upgraded, she won't, but it's beat within an inch of its life. And so if it happens again, also, we could just park on either side of the truck in him and the 98 Geo so close that you can't open that door. And then I'll back the 914 up on the other side so close they can't open that door. And then we'll have a chat on that one. But as I did not put this in there. I have now, for the first time in 14 months, I have run twice. I've gotten up and gone for a run. I am so
chasing you.
How did it go?
It's my muscle memory came right back, and my lungs like, why are we going so fast? So there's a lot of stopping. I'm trying to slow myself down, and my body's like, this isn't running. We're just moving quickly. And my lungs are like, this hurts, but my leg doesn't hurt. So I don't.
Oh, good. I was wondering what kind of limp was happening when you were doing this.
I'm just going to have a limp if I don't focus and concentrate on placing my foot in the right spot. Like, usually towards the end of the day, I just start limping because I'm tired. But yeah, the running part, yeah, I'm all right.
Good. Well, good for you. That's a long time coming.
It's a long time to go.
That's you, but that's okay. Nobody's keeping track of that part.
Yeah.
You got out there.
All right, Chrissy.
Let's go.
In a bit of sad news, legendary Reeves Calloway, founder of Callaway Cars and legend of the Corvette world, passed away last week after sustaining injuries from a fall in his home. He was 75. On the chance you don't know, Eli Reeves Calloway III was the son of the founder of the Callaway Golf Company. Reeves raced go-karts as a youth and won the SCCA Formula V Championship in 73 and was a staff instructor at the Bondurant School of Driving. In 77, he founded his company, Callaway Cars, from his garage in Old Lyme, Connecticut, after his turbo kit for the E21 BMW 320 was successful. Little known fact, I have driven an E21 320i with that turbo kit, and it was fun. That was in Montana.
Awesome. Nice.
Anyway, he soon began offering performance kits for other cars. Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin, even a Land Rover have enlisted his help in making his cars faster. I think the Volkswagen Scirocco turbo kit and just general Volkswagen turbo kit was another big seller for them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but when Callaway made a twin turbo kit for the C Corvette, taking power from 240 to 382, a legend was born. Wow. This was solidified by the Sledgehammer, which was a twin turbo C4 Corvette with a low drag aero and almost 900 horsepower. It clocked a top speed of 254 miles an hour in the 80s. Wow. Anyone that's ever driven a C4 Corvette is terrified by that prospect.
Terrifying.
Right now. Yeah. Callaway still makes performance parts for GM products, including a supercharger kit for the new C8 Corvette. And actually, I've personally driven a Camaro with various Callaway parts on it, including cylinder heads and floor mats.
And floor
mats. I didn't. Good, nice touch. I didn't know all of that information. I heard that he died. I just didn't know his background. That's very interesting. Thank you. Okay, Morgan is back. Nick Burgett Haggerty gives us the deets. After a few mods to the Euro version to get it legal, the new Super 3, named for the number of wheels, is powered by a 118 horsepower, 1.5 liter Ford Triple. It goes from 0 to 62 in 7 seconds and has a top speed of 130. The Super 3 only weighs 1,400 pounds, priced at $550,000. And
no, I'm sorry, just 55K.
Okay,
sorry.
No change. Nope, no change at all. Yes. Interested? Look up one of the company's 12 U.S. dealerships. Fear not, Morgan faithful who prefer their weird British roadsters with an even number of wheels. Work is ongoing to get the four-wheeler BMW powered Plus 4 ready for North American market in 2024. Link to the article with a video is in our notes.
550,000 would be quite a different car than a three-wheeled Morgan. So
500. What did I say? Oh, it's 55.
You said 550.
55. 55. 2 5s and 3 zeros. I'm sorry.
Yes. It's if you don't know, that's the three-wheeler that had the Harley Davidson SNS motor out front. This one now actually the front end kind of looks like a car. It's a neat looking little thing. But speaking of odd looking vehicles, remember the Cybertruck? No, not the one Simone gets built on her YouTube channel out of a Model 3. No, not that one that races West Coast and lemons. We mean the ugly one. And you probably already know that first one rolled off the Texas Gigafactory production build line this week. Rob Stumpf over at The Drive is quick to see what everyone else sees. Brace yourselves. There might be some quality control issues. The rear door looks horribly misaligned. To their credit, Tesla did not claim this was a production version. As Stumpf said, quote, it could just be a test of the line or perhaps the latest version of a pre-production sample. Local friend, if you have watched some of the other stuff, the Rami show, I've done some of the production driving for that one. Rami has an order for one, and I have, he has every intention of destroying it. So hopefully before it gets destroyed, I'll have an opportunity to take that thing for a drive around and get folks. So in a year or so, maybe I'll actually get behind the wheel of one of those Tesla trucks and we can see what it's about.
This article is such a stretch. Like the picture of the vehicle has 100 people, 200 people standing around it, and they have to, maybe even more for that matter, and they're trying to pick out. Somebody went like this to this picture. This is the zoom with your fingers motion that I'm doing here, and they're like, ooh, there's somebody did a bad job. Like, what? It's probably a piece of plastic.
I don't know. That door looked pretty
Tesla fans will read anything.
You're not wrong. Do you drive? If you drive a Tesla, I'm going to tell you that I drive a Tesla.
Right. Yeah, and Tesla detractors will absolutely find every quality control issue from 100 miles away on a grainy photograph taken with a Kodak Instamatic. So, it's one of those things. But let's skip ahead. Let's skip to some joy scrolling, not picking apart tiny little details in a weird electric truck with not shatterproof windows. I could hear you now, listener. Quote, Mental, your talk of Morgan has piqued my interest, but I don't want to wait for a German-powered Brit Roadster, and, well, Chris still hasn't listed the MG. Well, what about now? Fear not. Racing Junk has you covered, because here is a gorgeous, unmolested, proper example of a 1959 Morgan Plus 4. Of course, it's a manual. That's all they ever made. It's mostly original. It runs and drives. The odometer isn't working, and it's got personality, which AKA means it's got some issues. But that's the fun of a Morgan. Now it's got Illinois plates on there. It's that dealer we've talked to before. They're out of Cadillac, Michigan. They say the car's not at our dealer. It's a private owner. But this is really, if it's been restored, it's an older restoration, but this thing looks mostly original and honestly really friggin' cool.
I bet it's terrifying to at least be a passenger in. If
it's terrifying in all the ways. I mean, it's a 50s British car.
Okay, because I've been in a car
held up by wood.
I've been in a car that's like that, and I was like, "Get me out of this! I'm going to die."
Yes, I also had to push it. Is made of wood. Yes, well, and if you have to push it, this thing doesn't weigh anything. It's only $27,000, but it is a really cool car.
Does it have suicide doors?
I believe so.
I think the whole car is suicide, but yes.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
you're not wrong.
No, it looks like they're just,
misaligned.
It's a regular, piece of sheet metal.
Hold on with a string. You probably have to close it with a little zip, like a bungee.
Yeah, it's British. It's probably a proper leather.
Which means you're going to die.
Wire strap that use that on there. But if you're a fan of joy scrolling like we are, you should get yourself a pro membership over at Racing Junk. Use code POD23 at checkout. You're going to get like 50% off. And that's just hella cheap. Seriously, it's less than a meal at Applebee's, and you're going to burn down the Applebee's anyway. So you should check all that out. Now, we've been also talking about the Pittsburgh Grand Prix, which is where we're all going. They're leaving tomorrow. I have to fly out of here on Friday. Now, they didn't get their 1,000 subscribers, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't subscribe, because they're still going to post videos of everyone you see on the screen and Jeff all weekend. And then you can check out all of our social media feeds. It's going to be awesome. But go to Venmo, or not Venmo. That's where you send people money. Vimeo.
You could go there and send us some money, but I don't know what.
We're going to be drinking a lot. So
don't do that.
Yeah. But as these videos come available, we're going to be posting the links. Check our social medias. It's going to be awesome.
But go to the website, Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix. Everything is going to be linked there. So make sure there's going to be live streams. There's going to be everything that you need to see is going to be linked off of that page. So you don't have to go to Vimeo and go search for it. They're just going to make sure that that's kind of the landing page. I'm sure that I know that they're making a QR code. We'll have that out there as well. So there's going to be lots of good stuff.
And a link to the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix is in our show notes.
Thank you very much. I've got
Mercedes. Lucky Dog is at Brainerd for the Donnybrook Dogs. 30 cars. 7 BMWs, 3 Miatas, 1 Honda, no Porsches, but the rest of the lineup is fantastic.
Wow.
There's a 75 Plymouth Duster. Hyundais, as far as the eye can see. There's an Accent, and a Elantra, and a Tiburon. There's many Hyundais as there are Miatas. That's a great thing to say. 87 Olds Cutlass, 2 Firebirds, and our friends Mofoco in a 05 Dodge Magnum. That has a ridiculous swap in it, doesn't it? I forget what they put in, a slant 6 or something. Yeah, that feels right. Yes, something terrible. Yeah, he'll message us right away, because he as soon as you said that, I remember it's in one of our message threads. Yeah, terrible swap.
It's going to be awesome.
So great.
It's going to be awesome. Also, Lucky Dog Racing League is proud supporter of Athena Racing. Athena Racing encourages young girls from ages 11 to 18 to explore career opportunities in STEAM, science, engineering, technology, research. That's a new one to me. Engineering and the arts and mathematics. And how those skills can be leveraged in both motorsports and transportation industries. Now, DHL Express and Club Athena are partnering with for the Girls at the Track event to inspire next generation of young career women with a prize that includes the opportunity to win at track experience with Andretti Autosports in Indianapolis Motorsports Speedway in August 2023. Link in our notes, but the entry deadline is very soon, July 30th. So if you know young women who might be interested, let them know. Send them there. That's super exciting.
I think so. And honestly, if you're listening to this, you've got a sister, sibling, cousin, niece, whatever that's in that. It's no surprise that this is something Kathy got behind
completely. That's fantastic. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just and it is, and this isn't a put people above, but it is to open up the door to say, look, there's all kinds of stuff you can do out here, and it's all really friggin' cool.
Awesome.
Yes. You know who else actively encourages participation in the arts and the sciences and in racing? Chrissy's mom.
I suppose. Yes, she does. She tolerates it now. I'm not sure how she felt about it 12 years ago, but now she knows we probably won't die. So I think she's pretty supportive. She just also thinks that we run on cookies, which is great. So there's that.
Yes. And it does kind of exist as a sub economy on race weekends, cookies.
She did say this weekend, we said, oh, we're going to Pittsburgh. There's a car show. And she was like, do you need cookies? And we're like, no, we're going to be really busy. And she's like, but I could, oh, shoot. It's too late now.
Man.
I might have some, we probably have some in the freezer.
I mean, I'm not saying like a bunch. I'm just saying, just a couple snickerdoodles. We're going to come home. We're going to be crashing, dehydrated, need that sugar rush. All right.
Got it.
Also, I jumped out of order on this one, but I want to give a shout out to Bill Fisher. Last week's audio episode was delayed, and that's completely my fault. I got a text from Bill that said, saw the video, didn't see the audio, came home, looked at my computer, and there was publish. The cursor was even still sitting on the publish button.
This is the first time that you're doing this, so that's okay. Give us some grace. No, it's freaking number 302.
Metal's been doing a great job with doing
this.
He
has, and we don't want to do it, so we appreciate it. It's growing great.
I'm not going to throw any shade whatsoever.
I have to throw shade, and then I say, you're doing great. You're doing great.
It's like the opposite of that compliment sandwich when you give someone feedback at work, you're an idiot.
That doesn't work either.
You're doing well.
Is that what you tell your coworkers?
Only when they park in my spot.
Right, dude. You're still upset about this. Okay, we're ready to move on.
Still salty.
Topic time.
You've heard us talk about the Las Vegas Grand Prix. You've heard me complain about how stupidly expensive it initially is. So as soon as the pricing came out for the Las Vegas Grand Prix, actually, heck, as soon as the announcement, everyone was coming to our place here in Las Vegas. And then the prices came out and everyone's like, we're not going to Las Vegas because that costs too much money.
Nope.
And then I had the opportunity to go to Monaco, and my co-host and several of our very good friends said, ooh, you know where we haven't gone and it's kind of close? Montreal.
Well, it's close for us, not for them.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I absolutely wanted to go. But that would have been the only weekend I was home that weekend, and I would have had to move to Montreal, and that's going to make a commute really, really troublesome. Mm-hmm. So here it is. The CNC Mayhem Factory went to the Montreal Grand Prix. By all accounts, it was amazing, and we are here to share this with you, listener.
Yes, we are. All right, we're going to break it down like we have in the past. We do have some pictures. They're a little bit better organized than Mental when he was telling his experience. So we will be popping them up, but we will try to explain what they are. Mostly they're just of our experience.
It helps that there's two of us and that we have them already in a folder.
We learned from what happened before. So now we have some pictures if you'd like to see them.
Taught.
Yeah, maybe sometimes. And most of them are the ones that I posted on my Facebook and our friends. So you might have seen them already. But anyway, so we went to Montreal. We started off with Chris and I just saying, let's go. We'll go to Montreal. We put it out to our larger group of friends who put it out to larger group of friends and said, anybody want to go? We went with Dean and Jackie, who are from Sorry for Party, now West Coast, but used to be East Coast. They said, sure, we're in. So we ended up buying 4 tickets total together. So we had our seating all together, knew that we were going to be in the same row, same place. And then shortly after, I don't know, a month or two, maybe not even that long, but Matt and Lish, also from Sorry for Party, decided, heck, let's just go. We'll go too. So they were in the same grandstand, not the same section, but pretty great. So we were all looking at basically the same view. And for at least Friday and some of Saturday, they sat with us. So just give a little bit of context of who we were with. It was just the 6 of us. So yeah, we'll start there. Do you want me to keep talking?
I'll talk about how we got there.
Okay.
Well, this is pretty simple. We got in the Mercedes and we headed north. That was about it. Chrissy worked while I drove. We headed up the Northway. Took 7 hours. It was a pretty easy trip, all things considered. We pulled up at the Canadian border and there was 0 line and many open spots.
I don't think there was another car in the whole thing.
They were further left, but there were so many booths so that there was no problem. We pulled up, handed over our passports. He asked where we were going, what we're doing. We told him we were out in 30 seconds and continuing to head north. So that was nice.
Yes, it was.
I feel like your first class accommodations were basically, for your trip to the massaging seats and.
Oh yeah, of course.
It went pretty well.
Seats and
but we were concerned about what we were bringing, and we were like, "Well, what if they look in our cooler, or like our eggs say that they don't say they're from America?" And so we brought some things, but we plan to get more when we were up there. So, but they didn't even look in our car, like literally didn't look. Their passports look like you. Cool, bye. Care. Nope, didn't. It was awesome.
We're here for your jobs. No one cares.
Nope, we're not.
When are you going home? Monday. Okay. See you later.
Right? You and about 100,000 other people are. Guess might be more than
a lot of them are from Canada. They don't come from the U.S. So then we had gotten an Airbnb that was nearby. Now I'll give a brief layout of the geography here.
You should.
The Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve is on an island in the middle of the St. Lawrence River. This is a man-made island. This is where the World's Fair was in the 60s when they had it in Montreal. The only way to get to the track really is the metro. They come constantly in and out. That's the yellow line. The yellow line, this is the middle stop of 3 stops of the yellow line. That's all that exists. One way goes east to a town called Longueville, something like that. I don't get the pronunciation right. And the other way was into the city. We looked at all the different spots that were around for the Airbnb and said, well, hang on, there's one on the east side where no one's going to be going, and it's inexpensive, and it's a really nice little 1-bedroom cute place. Let's do that. So we did. And it turned out to be fortuitous in that every time there was
very nice.
Chrissy, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Because this is helpful to know what we experienced, and it worked out well for us most of the time. So can you see my mouse, hopefully?
Yep. So every time that we would leave the track, we would go to the metro station. You have to walk over and across the bridge into the metro station, and then take the metro station up to where our place was, which is to the left and up, honey. Zoom in a little bit and I'll tell you where.
It's fine. This is the idea of the track is here. We were going this way into a business district. There is minimal, it's away from town.
Yep. So the point was we went the other way in the subway when everyone else in the world was going the other way. Right. So that really worked out nicely because it helped us get out much more quickly, because I can show you what the line to get out looked like in general once we were when we were trying to
everybody trying to get
into the metro station.
Into the metro. Yes, there's a couple pictures of that. So it was definitely the right call. And when we go into
okay.
Yeah,
and that's
people to get into.
But that's one side. The metro goes into from two sides. So that was rough. So these are mostly Friday. Oh, they're all
in the subway. It was packed.
So Friday, we had a great day. We went home, got a shower, and then met Dean, Jackie, Matt, and Lish for dinner in town. So of course we were all showered and ready to go, and these people were just getting into the metro. That picture, and so all of a sudden we're going with the salmon, and we're all nice and clean, and everybody's not, and we were like, this is the worst. So we had already been home and just been doing stuff, and they've been waiting. So pretty bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So Airbnb
tip
was awesome.
1, don't stay where everyone else is staying. I like it.
Basically.
It's just, this is the other way on the subway and right near the end of it. So it worked out great.
But the rest of the group were staying in town, and they really liked it because they went out hopping. They went out like they, were in the hotel bar, and then they went out afterwards. And Chris and I were like, hey, cheap drinks at home. It's cool.
Yeah. Matt really likes Old City. So he's down there. Yeah. So we went to the grocery store.
Matt did actually say, don't miss Crescent Street.
Yes.
I'm guessing that's a bar district. Did you guys accompany them?
It's a street they actually shut down for race weekend. To have things going on like music and
we were happily at home drinking our cheap drinks. Also. Yes, right. But back up. I have been practicing French because I thought I was going to go to France before COVID hit. So I got to put this to good use, actually, and kind of muddled our way through on what things we were trying to talk about. I have a great story, which is like my favorite story of the whole thing about speaking in French. But just keeping that in mind, that as soon as we were looking for le billet de gare. The train station tickets. So we had to stand in line, get their tickets to take the metro. I'm sorry, I'm bouncing a little bit.
Yeah, let's keep in order for what we're trying to talk about. Let's talk
those
about
those French lessons will come in handy when you guys go to Monaco.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our seats. We'll talk about where those were. So here's the track. And we were in what's known as section 34. Now this is at the very north end of the track near the hairpin. So we are, and this is great radio. I'm showing on my screen where we are, but is right at the very north end of the track where the track comes together before the hairpin. And it's nice because when you come on the bridge to come into the track from the metro, it's pretty much right there. And you don't have to walk the 2 miles, around the circuit to get to the southern end where stuff is. So that was really nice. Other thing that was nice was we got to see a car. Like if a car came by, it was in view for a full 10 seconds because we got to see it come in, break down, go through the entire hairpin, and then accelerate back out right next to it because the grandstands really go all the way to the edges of the track on both sides. So that was really nice to see the cars for as long as we did. So would recommend Grandstand 34, and I can show some pictures of our view in Grandstand 34.
Yes, please, because I'd seen these when you were picking them out, and it was a selling point. I almost had Vicky talked into it as well. These are just, look at that. This is just great.
Right. So, and we were, I would say, 80% of the way up the grandstand, so we really could see everything. But when just being able to have the cars come in and have them in view for so long was really nice. We looked at some of this other ones around here, and like, for example, the one way in the back here at the very, very north end of the track seems like, that'd be really close, but there's a huge runoff there. So that puts the cars pretty far away from you to really be able to see them. We're here, they're coming right next to us on both sides. And that was also nice. And there's a lot of passing happens in the hairpin. Yes, Chrissy.
While you have this picture up, just please note that the TV screen that we can see is right in the middle of this screen. It is, it looks like a postage stamp from where we are sitting. We'll talk about this.
You can't see a damn thing.
No, you can't see a damn thing.
I did note it looked like a food area is down there as well.
You can't get there from where we were.
Yeah, that's a fancy person area.
Okay.
There's a lot of other food areas that are actually right behind us was a good food area.
This is like the race. Are we jumping to the race? Because we still haven't done Friday and Saturday.
I wanted
yet.
to show what this looked like.
And the city looks great in the background as well.
Yes, it does. Okay, so this is the actual race, the start of the race. So this is when we're just watching them go around.
You're right. That's a lot of action. Yeah,
but this just shows how much you can actually see from here. Instead of like some corners, you sit there and they go by, whoa, and you never see them again. Where here, you've got like quite a good view for a bit. And they're gone.
Fantastic. Yeah. But that's
all right.
That's
we'll
great.
get to the actual race. So we're not there yet. Okay. So Friday, the other group was late to get there. So Chris and I walked. Did we walk the whole? I think we walked the whole thing before they got there.
We did. We went through everything. We took in all the sites because Friday, every day that the number of people there got worse and worse, and we had good-ish weather when we got there on Friday, which is really nice.
It was like times 2 times 3. So our first experience, you walk up, there's a couple pictures of me with cars and like doing all the things because there was no line. You're just like, oh, this is great. We'll just walk up and see people. And they had all kinds of the drivers, like you could walk up and see the drivers doing their interviews. That's me right when we walk in. And so there's just kind of a nice big display.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm using my arm. That's unhelpful. So just we were really excited to be there. Oh, that's nope. Oops, these aren't in order. I'm very sorry.
Right. No,
okay, so
this is Williams drivers being interviewed on this little stage, but you can see like there's a lot of there's people, but it's not packed wall to wall like it was later, where you just can't even see anything. So that was nice.
I remember in 2013 it was like that because I was all about getting there on Thursday and seeing all that and seeing the interviews because yes, it was just way less crowded. And I feel like the people that are hardcore enough to show up on a Thursday,
it's Friday, but
sorry, on Friday, but show up that early, are by definite or by virtue of being that enthusiastic, a lot more respectful of everyone around them.
Sure. And we were already there. And there's the problem with the schedule was there were not too many. So right, like you can see like there's like 5 other people that are standing around there. So the problem was that this schedule, because it was in the Americas, there are not F2 and F3. So there's not many support races. So there was a lot of gap between a practice session and then the next practice session. So Friday, I'm pretty sure we had some rain. So Saturday got delayed.
From all of your co-conspirators, everyone says ponchos, water resistant shoes.
Oh yeah.
Friday didn't rain. Friday was cloudy when we got up and went there. And once we wore jackets and we stood in this metro line to get our tickets, get a 3-day pass for the whole weekend, which is great. But do this, especially if you get there Thursday night and are anywhere, and you'll get your pass Thursday night, like right when you arrive, because standing in line for it Friday morning was painful. I'm sure when we walked by those same spots on Saturday and on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, it was even worse.
Right.
But
we waited an hour probably standing in line just to wait. And then you go up to a kiosk and you do everything as fast as possible. And then you have your tickets. So yeah. And then of course, we never waited for a train longer than 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Like never waited long for a train. But by the time you had to wait for the tickets, that was the problem. So
because they know they're moving a lot of people in and out. So they are moving those trains through. They did a good job with that. So top tip, get your tickets as early as you get there. Even if it's in the middle of the night, you can still buy tickets in a train station, or they have a lot of kiosks and stuff like other places around the city to buy them. Just get them. Yeah. Get the 3-day pass. And it's fine.
Yeah. So what I now recall is that Friday we watched some sessions. I'm pretty sure there was red flags, and I think that was for racing incidents. I guess it was, but there wasn't a whole lot of racing on Friday, if I recall correctly.
Well, then there was practice.
That's what I was talking about. Practice.
Oh, okay. You said racing sessions.
Racing sessions of practice. F1 cars going around. And so the thing that happened on Friday, if I'm remembering the day correctly, was watching the this was totally Friday, watching the rain come. You could see the dark clouds coming more. No, that Saturday. Was totally Friday.
It was a day. Okay. It was at the end of the day, you mean? Mm-hmm. Yes, the very end of the day.
When we left.
Sorry.
Because we left.
It also happened Saturday too.
Correct. But it happened Friday because we didn't get wet. That's the thing, is we watched the rain coming and we decided to bail a little bit early just to make sure that we left before the rain, and it worked out completely in our advantage. It was the right way to go. We still stood in a little bit of line to get home, but it was worth it because we were dry at the time. And that's when we got on the metro to go to see our friends. We were dry. Everybody was wet because they stayed for the rest of the race. And then they got on the metro and they were not dry and we were nice and dry. So yes.
Yeah. And then we went into the city, walked around a bit from the subway to meet our friends for some beverages. And then we went to dinner. What would dinner? What? It was how to describe the restaurant. So I'm trying to think. It's a very small little hole in the wall, very cute. Had
kind of like walking down outside. a couple stairs, and it had already just rained, so nobody else was sitting outside. We said we're going to sit outside.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the details?
Didn't have a bar, so Chrissy ran across the street to the Packy and got a.
Oh my God! I remember you guys put that in the thing, and you said,
"Oh my gosh,
they don't." We found the one Canadian bar that doesn't serve alcohol.
Right? Yeah, we wanted to go there for dinner. We were already set. We all looked at the menu. We were ready to go. So we put the drinks on the table, and she was like, "You can't drink those here." So we all put them under the table, and then dump out our glasses of water and put this. So it was like
Jackie. All right, Jackie had the move of the weekend.
Oh, this is so good. Hold on.
Took a sip of her water, stood there for a second, and then tossed it over her shoulder real fast, and then poured her claw on the cup. It's great.
All right, I thought this was just general life advice, but if you look down Jackie's points that she said about this event, she said seltzers and vodka sodas are the best discreet drinks, and with that additional information, it makes so much sense. And you should just follow Jackie for general life advice because she's got a lot of things figured out. And that is clearly one of them.
But it was funny because I was like, I can fix that. Packy over there. So so this is us drinking our claws in our water glasses in this cute place. So dinner was really good. And we had a good time. That made our night though, trying to find external drinks. And it was so much cheaper. But we also felt like we were 16 illegally drinking claws under the table. We would like pass one over and like we were just pile them in the boxes, and So anyway, we had a nice time out for dinner, came home and started Saturday. So that was all of Friday.
Yep. Saturday weather, not so good.
Oh my gosh.
Saturday it rained, and then it rained some more, and then it stopped a little bit, and then it rained more, and then it stopped, and it rained more. The mud around was significant.
Epic. Yes.
There were a lot more
ponds.
People. Right. There were easily double the number of people there Saturday as there were on Friday.
Yep.
It was a lot of rain. So we walked around again, and Chrissy and I walked the entire loop of the track again.
Yep.
That day.
Which is pretty far.
Yeah. Well, I want to go back quickly to arriving. And so once you arrive at the metro station, you have to then walk through a pretty big area to get to ticket check, which we never waited more than 10 seconds at ticket check. They really moved people through. Then there was bag check. We never waited more than 10 seconds there.
Oh yeah.
Key to that is just make it easy for them too. And, make it easy for them. Have all the stuff right there.
Have
open it up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's great. And if you're going to do something like have a water bottle full of vodka, put it with all the other ones that are, some of them freeze them, helps keep them colder longer in your bag. And they just see a bunch of water bottles. Don't think anything of it.
Your research.
Same with if you're filling up a bottle of Diet Coke that has a significant amount of rum, just fill it all the way up. Put it in the bottom. They open it up. They look, it looks good to me. Move along. Have a nice day. So
we may or may not have brought some drinks in with us, and we're successful. Other people,
tips and
tricks. If you decide that you want to do this, but we know that other people were not as successful. So I think they were generalizing, and I think we were upstanding citizens look like they're ready and understanding on what the rules were. They asked me how many beers. I said none beers. They said thank you, goodbye. And so I said no problem. I'm not going to bring beer in.
Pockets of my rain jacket that had claws in them.
Oh, wait, we were literally bringing claws in because we had walking drinks, and we're just like, well, let's just put this in. And I like shoved some in my like tiny purse, and I just like held it to my side, and they were like, okay, no problem. But there were a bunch of kids in front of me, and they stopped them and opened all of their water bottles and smelt them. So I think they were thinking that we must be adults, and of course we're not going to break any rules if we're adults, but kids, they might be breaking the rules.
Or if you're going to break the rules, you're not going to act like idiots and make trouble later. So they're just, where's our most effective enforcement going to be? I don't care if people get drunk. I care if they get drunk and stupid.
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
So
this saved us a little bit of money, which we were very happy about because
everything, as you can imagine, everything's very expensive in the track.
So expensive.
No doubt, but everyone knows that it's expensive. But let's talk about some of the Mental talked about the food stuff. Let's talk a little bit about that. So there were lots and lots and lots of food places everywhere you went. Right behind where we were seated was a food area with tables and things, and there was good food there. There's a big drink spot in the middle, lots of restrooms, no hand washing stations though, which is unfortunate, but oh well.
On that joke, we could tell that joke because we have a second, but they also didn't have any hand sanitizer the first day, so apparently they didn't care if you had hand sanitizer. So we were digging it out of
the second day. They had a lot.
They did, but why not have it the first day?
I know, but it was all getting well used. I mean, they had these portable urinal stations that were basically like a plus sign that you stand up on them, and you use the urinal there. And when I first saw it, I actually thought it was a hand washing station. Like the very first on Friday, I was like, "Oh, look, a hand washing station." Then I walked a little closer and said, "No, that is not a hand washing station." That'd be really nice. They had that. So for the rest of the week, we'd be like, "Oh, hang on, I gotta go use the hand washing station."
That became the joke. Oh, that was good. That was funny.
And at the end of the day, Saturday, the hand washing station was
reached
full,
the angle of repose.
Yeah, like no more pee could go in. That was it. So that was unfortunate.
But the place that we were right outside, actually we have a great picture of us. I think it's race day, but they set up pallets that you can, I'm sure they can assemble and disassemble pretty easily, but that's where we just kind of stand around, and that was the drink area you're talking about. But you could kind of eat your food and have drinks and kind of stand around with a group of people, and you could put your bags down. And so it was kind of a nice place. But because you had to make an effort to get into the place we were at. So we were off of that loop, and it was kind of, you have to go over a bridge that went over the track to get to this place. So it was only people that needed to be there, kind of. So it was kind of a secluded place that the lines, they got pretty long on Sunday, but they weren't like astronomical. So it ended up being pretty nice. It was kind of off the beaten path if you could do that with 325,000 people, something like that.
It was something like that. It was over 100,000 per day if you average it out, but
right,
it ended up being different. So yeah, this is in the food area behind our place. This is on Sunday, but just to get an idea of what it looks like. Yeah.
Is that was that actual grass, or is that like fake grass?
It's fake grass that they put over everything.
Because it would have all turned to mud if it was raining all weekend. And
exactly.
It did. Oh, it did.
I wanted to pass on the other information from Lish, because she said, don't stand in the shorter looking food lines because they actually take the longest. So there's a reason that line says they're like doing it to order. And she just said, just get poutine barbecue.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. They ate so many hot dogs. I mean, and they're not like hot dog eating people, but I think they were quick and easy, and they were just like, well, I'm getting one. They're like, just get 4. And so they just kept eating them. And of course, they're also on California time. So all of a sudden we're like, we just ate lunch, and they're just like, we are starving, because it was a different time zone for them. So we've been on that struggle bus. So they were struggling a little bit with that food.
But there's a lot of places to go. Like if you're there, do the walk around. There's so many places to see. There's a lot of different views. There's all kinds of different food everywhere. The Heineken garden was a nice place with a lot of shade, and they had hammocks and chairs out, which occasionally you could even get. So here we were just taking a break in the shade and waiting for next practice to come up. So that was great.
I'm looking at the glasses Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Dean said that, and not just Formula One, but especially Formula One. Every time I've been to one, Dean said, be prepared to walk a lot. So, and we were prepared for that. And you guys are obviously prepared for that. So if you're thinking about a Formula One race, bring some comfortable shoes. It's worth it.
I easily got my step goal every day because we ended up walking just as much on Sunday. Looking at that picture, had the glasses. They made me think of, they're very interested in reusable, recyclable. We had multiple meals that only had paper containers, bamboo spoons. They gave you discounts if you brought back the little plastic cup that you use. They would give you a drink, and then they would give you a discount if you gave them the cup back. So sometimes we would just say, here's one cup. And then we had bigger cups that had that were aluminum cups that had lemonade in them. Of course, we added something to the lemonade. But no, we added the vodka that we brought in the bottles. Right. So then we just said, hey, make 2 cranberry vodkas in this larger cup, because Chris and I will just drink it out of this larger cup and save the other cup. So they're very conscientious about that. There was all kinds of trash cans, recycle cans, organic bins. Like, they were all out of, they were very conscientious. For that many people to try that is very impressive. So I was very pleased to see that.
Go Canada. Nice.
Sure.
Yep. So Saturday rained a lot. It rained a lot, but it was fun. It was one of those times, like, after the fact, it's like, are we having fun? Yes, we're having fun.
There's a couple of pictures. You have great pictures in there of how. There. So Quali, we sit and what? Go ahead.
I would say this another day. We were watching the clouds arrive, and if you look at our pictures on a nice
hold on, go to that one
tower.
Oh yes. Go to that one. They have a podium that I was standing on, and I was holding the
Sunday. I was going to go through that.
That was actually Saturday, but okay. Yep, it was.
Oh, you're right. It was Saturday.
Because I went to go do all the things, so I could stand up there. It was a full bottle, actually. And I was standing on the podium with, and they had a little thing behind it.
I was so prepared to call you out on that shirt until he enlarged it, and I'm like, okay, perfect.
Isn't it awesome?
Yes. That is a fantastic shirt.
My shirt is a red shirt that looks like Ferrari, but it's got a black cat that has his arm up and it says Ferrari on it. And I was like, I'm hilarious. So yes. I'm sorry. Go back to the rain. So this is time that it wasn't actually raining, but it was pretty darn rainy. It was in between the drops.
It was pretty darn rainy. And this is a video. Again, this is great pod, but it shows you the amount of spray and things that we're dealing with.
Let's see the wind. Like, it is windy. It is rainy. It is.
Everybody's little cheap parkas are all puffing up. You can't see the city in the background anymore. The classic rooster tails are coming.
Oh, so big.
And you can't see any of the city beyond the bridge. It's all gone.
And we're like, we promise we're having fun. Are we having fun? Because I'm not sure this is having fun.
I could see the rain being miserable, but at the same time, being able to watch those cars come through in this weather, is pretty awesome.
So this is there's another picture of us with so Chris got us some really great ponchos. So we had ponchos that had the what do you call
drawstring hoods.
Yes.
Drawstring hoods, and they also had full-length sleeves with elastics on the end of the sleeves. And like these are good disposable ponchos. And you can see Chrissy's got hers nicely tied up. This one I'm wearing a actual heavy-duty rain slicker. Like, it's a nice Helly Hansen super rain slicker. Nothing gets through that. So that's good. Dean's got his ski jacket on. Jackie's got her disposable poncho, but
a really cheap one.
The wind is blowing it open. So she found a clothespin at our house earlier when we went to dry off, because we went to our house in the middle of the day on Saturday to use the dryer in our apartment to dry.
So we had
because
basically they had a session at probably 10 or 11, and the next one wasn't until 3 or something, 2 or 3, whatever. So we had time to kill, and we were like, let's go the correct way. We don't have to go with everybody. And then we just dried off socks. We sat in, just had a couple of beers. We went to the Couche-Tard.
Yes.
And That's what it's called.
It's called Couche-Tard.
So we run in, we get all kinds of chips and all kinds of beers, and we go back and sit, and I don't even know what we watched. Oh, I think we just watched highlights of the racing that we missed from other angles. Yeah, that was awesome. And then we came back to
this again explains Jackie's cryptic clothespins are a lifesaver. What she's done is she's bought one of those cheap, vacuum,
like really cheap ones
ponchos, but she's wearing a ball cap and she has clipped the hood of the poncho to the bill of the ball cap, making it actually quite effective for keeping the rain out.
Oh yeah.
She was so appreciative, like so appreciative. But yeah, no, we were basically saying, so even when the rain was coming down, it would just drop onto your shoes and your pants. And like, it was just we were just wet. So yeah.
This is how I ended up with an $80 Mercedes umbrella.
Yeah.
Yeah,
although
pretty much.
Not everyone was wet, because our friend Richard of Richard and Kim fame, he was in the hospitality suites of the teams somehow. And we have a nice picture of him here standing about 6 feet from Checo's car in the Red Bull garage.
Very nice.
Yeah. And we were like, cool. Yeah, we were not living like that. So yeah, we were like, do you want to hang out? And he was like, nope.
I'm good. I'm good.
He was like, he would if he didn't have hospitality.
I'm sorry.
Suite and food.
Whores. Why are you even talking to me?
Basically, we were like,
peasants.
Yes, the peasants were like, can you steal some peanuts and throw them over the hill at us? He didn't.
Put snacks in your pocket. Come on.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
So Saturday, we'd all decided that we had an idea of going out to dinner. And then the other idea was everybody's going to be going back to town. It's going to be really busy because everybody that's after quali, right? So why don't we all just go to our house? So this is jumping through quali, which is
Quali in the rain. Yep.
Quali in the rain. But the problem is that quali in the rain, and it was close and it was back and forth, and everybody was excited. Then you need to move 100,000 people out of a venue
off an island.
And everybody has to get onto the metro. And so you are a salmon, and it was at some points not moving at all. And you are inching closer to, you have to go over the bridge, which goes over the track, which gets closer to the metro. And then in the metro,
and down some other stairs,
right.
And then to the metro, and then down some other stairs.
Yeah.
Going away from the city. Once you're through into the metro station, you go a completely different way than everyone else. You hop
and
right
basically, like, you can tell people there's a bunch of like guards that are trying to do a little bit of traffic movement, and basically you can say like, I'm going that way, and then they would like help you get through the crowd to be like, okay, if you're the one of 100 people in this general area that are going that way, we will help you get that way. So and it ended up working out really well, because we got on metro. We watched just a sea of people on the other side of the metro waiting to get on their train, and we got on our train.
Stopped at the Couche-Tard again through, because our place was right, like you walk basically out of the train station into the bus station, and then around the block, and we're at our apartment. So it was really convenient. So I stopped at the Couche-Tard again, got some more drinks. Yep. Then we ordered some sushi.
I need to start working that word into my daily lexicon.
Right? We just couldn't.
Is it a brand name, or is it a French pronunciation for tiny store?
No, it's a brand name.
Both.
But it's a little convenience store. But it's like Montreal's Dwayne Reed, basically. Nice. And
but it's also in a
Couche-Tard or something like that. But
it's in a bus station that had one row of chips and one row of glass doors of soda here, for 15 kinds of beer, and that's at a Slurpee station. That's about all that was in here. But that's okay. We figured it out.
Sheets and Wawa. Forget Buc-ee's. Couche-Tard.
Couche-Tard. Pretty much. Yeah. Yep. So Saturday, once we got
more
out,
drinks to the Couche-Tard, and actually, then Chrissy and I went out to. Was it then we went back to the liquor store one day to get more, and the supermarket. We went and got.
I think that was Friday night, knowing that Saturday they would come over.
Yes, that's right. It was Friday.
Yeah, we
night.
Went back out.
We got to the only liquor store that was still open like 2 minutes before they closed, like running, grab 3 things and run back out.
And then we needed dinner, and so we just went out and bought a couple of more random things. Yeah. Yeah.
But then we got DoorDash came over for dinner, so we had sushi and watched douche jams and race stuff and typical stuff you do with your race friends. You know how it goes. Yeah.
And then they went home and we were already home.
You're wondering, the link to the corporate offices of Couche-Tard will be in our show notes.
Or was that Sunday we did that? Sunday might have been the night we did. Yes, it was Sunday.
After the race? Yeah, it was after the race.
That was Sunday. Yeah. Sorry.
So I think maybe Saturday we might have gone out because I think they went home. It was raining. We didn't want to go back out, so we ended up going. I think that was probably accurate.
And that's the night we made pizza. Yes,
right,
that's right.
Right. So we went out to the grocery store, got a couple of things, and then came home and hung out. So we didn't do much. And then Sunday we went back. We didn't walk the track, but I think Dean and Jackie got out really early, and I think they went on a track walk, I believe.
They both said, do not sleep on the Sunday track walk. And yes, I would argue, I mean, if you don't have to do it like on race day or whatever, but if you're taking the trouble to go to any F1 track and you have the opportunity to walk on it, for goodness sakes.
Absolutely.
Well, we're talking walk. Yes, different thing. Where the race isn't over yet. They did the walk around the track inside the track and to see all the sights, and there's a beach and there's a casino and there's like all kinds of other things that you can do on the inside of the track.
They were not on the racing surface. They were on the walking path everywhere around. We eventually did go on the racing surface, but that's later on.
We're not there yet.
Yep. There's Couche-Tard. See, Couche-Tard. That's Circle K.
That's a Circle K. It's wrong.
No, that's apparently, and then Ingo. It's all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Now we know. We weren't making
we
that
got
up.
that confused. That's dinner Saturday was on our own after. Yep. That was fine. Sunday. So we get up a little later because we'd already walked the track twice, or not the track. We walked the loop twice. We've already seen everything. We already had all our pictures. We had everything we needed. Right.
Yep.
So we just hung out for a while and slept in, had a late breakfast, cleaned up a bit. I think we did some laundry too. Like
yes, we did. Like a whole load of laundry just because we could.
Yep.
Why not?
And so then we went to the track and got there in plenty of time to see the driver's parade was like 3 hours before the race. So we're like, well, we're not going to go 3 hours before the race to see them drive by. That's silly. But we went there, walked around a bit, talked to people, had fun.
Now, what we actually did was hide behind an area that didn't have a whole lot of people. It was hiding behind a churro stand that had a secret, bathroom, porta potty that not many people were using, and it was out of the way and it was not in line. And I had brought a banana and an old piece of pizza for lunch. So it was better than standing in line. So if you can bring any kind of snacks, lunch, do it, because everything was so expensive. And then by the time you try to find something, it was a long
line. Yeah.
So we did wait for that.
And we watched a race, and while watching the race, the weather cleared up. It was gorgeous for the actual race. It was wonderful. We brought the iPad, and Jackie signed into her F1 TV account on the iPad. So that was fun. We'd also gotten these little radio earpieces from the local cable telephone company that was giving them out for free. So you could tune into the track broadcast, which you then really couldn't hear at all because the cars are so loud. So you just can't hear anything.
But we found that we needed all of these things because you see the car going. This is the real crux of did you have a good time? You get better views on the TV because you see the cars coming around, and then you can't see the postage stamps. That's why I showed you in that last video, because you can't see the broadcast from these seats. It's so far away. The TV is this big and you can't see anything. So we had we had the radios without having the iPad that had F1 TV on it. And then I was also running the lap times on the F1 app on my phone, so I could see who was moving and what was happening. We would say, okay, who moved? And then we would see it on the TV. There's a delay by the time the cars would come around on the track and what we would see on the F1 TV. So we had to play a guessing game of what was happening.
Like where's Russell? Russell was right there behind Alonso. Where'd he go? All right, look at the
but
TV.
he
hit the wall.
He hit the wall.
George.
Also, so we had some great neighbors in our seats. We had a family from Chicago with a kid who was probably 10 or 12 maybe, and was really into it, has a headset on. He's also giving us play-by-plays because he was listening to a different broadcast. His parents were sitting with him, so we had some other people like
the Danny Ricardo
Danny Ricardo, yeah.
That was the one he was listening to.
So when he was hearing things, he would say it, and then we would like, what happened? So he was like an additional news source of what was happening at the race.
That's fantastic. Because that was something Matt said, bring in-ear headphones and make sure you have a device to listen to the broadcast. And I know if you pay, if you get behind a paywall, the F1 app will even let you listen to the team radios. And I've seen the same thing at NASCAR where the folks will they'll listen to the in-car communication between the
I don't even care about in-car. We needed that much information to figure out what was happening at the race.
Just a general idea of what
like
was
who
going
is
on.
winning. Besides, okay, who's coming in second? Because everybody knows who's winning. But all of a sudden, what happened to this car, or why did this happen? We ended up, and then fast forward, we came home and watched the race because we wanted to see what actually happened, because we didn't see all kinds of things that were happening. Of course, there's 4 of us sitting in a row trying to share the iPad of what was actually happening. So,
you're experiencing the race on a different level. It's completely different than watching it on TV.
Sure, yes. But we know that there were things that we missed because you see it on TV and you didn't see it in our corner.
Yeah. And I don't think I will, if I wouldn't go to these all the time. I'm really happy I did. I'm sure we'll go again, but just being able to, the sights, the sounds, the just energy that is being there is really wonderful.
Yes.
And I was happy with how we did everything, really. It all worked out well. If I were saying, all right, we're definitely going next year, I would have bought the seats like now and probably tried to get the ones right across from the pits, because they had really nice grandstand that look into the pits, and that would have been a nice place to watch it from.
And it was right after the corner, like 13, there's like S's before you get onto there's a small straight. So some things happened there. And then you could, I think, depending on where you were sitting in that grandstand, could see turn 1 as well. So you'd have really great seats and see some more. We have a whole different experience. Absolutely.
Yep.
If you, from where we were.
I think that sums up what Matt's first point that he said when I was asking him about just inputs about Montreal and Formula One, and he, with an exclamation point, just go. That's the biggest tip. If you're an F1 fan, find a way, go experience an F1 race. Not the same as watching it, but definitely just experience one.
And Montreal is a nice place to do it. It was a well-run event. They're getting people on and off the metro as fast as they possibly can. Everything was as clean as it can reasonably be for this many people that were around. I never felt like unsafe at all in any way, shape, or form.
Nope.
They were they were trying to, I don't know if there are any ne'er-do-wells in Montreal. I'm sure there are, but they certainly swept them out of town for the race weekend, whatever the case may be, because there wasn't that. I don't know how much of that is Canada and how much of that is just prepping for a big event weekend. But whatever it was, pleased all around. It was nice.
All right.
And then at the end of the race, everyone bursts onto the track and walks the track.
That's what Jackie said.
That's what she's saying. Yes. So I think walk the loop just to get the experience of what's happening, what F1 has to bring, but also walk the track. So we walked about 80% because we got on, turned right, and went the way that the cars drive on the track. So we missed the turn, the hairpin where we were, because we could see it, but we went out the other way. So we missed walking it. That's me pretty excited, drinking a warm beer because the dumb people in front of us ordered 12 cans or something stupid. Then it sat in the sun and I was like, they're not even
they left.
like
They left like 15 minutes after they ordered all these beers, and they were left a bunch of them brand new.
Drank some
anyway,
warm beer.
So this is on the straight coming down after the hairpin.
Chris is wearing, I know this is bad potting, Chris is wearing a backpack that is a cooler, which was a great idea.
Insulated backpack.
Sucks when you're walking because it's full, but when it's empty, it's not so bad. And has a nice little pack for snacks.
You have to be conscious of. Let's talk about what else we brought too. You
Sure.
have to be conscious of what you can bring in, because the only place you have to put stuff is under your seat. So it has to be no wider than you and no more than 9 inches tall and no deeper than like a bleacher. So that's why we bought this backpack, because it fit all those requirements. You also need to get some kind of cushion for your butt to sit on the aluminum
my
seat,
gosh,
especially
to sit on an aluminum grandstand. I have no doubt. Will that backpack be coming to Pittsburgh? That backpack should come to Pittsburgh. I'm just saying.
Maybe. That's not a bad idea.
We could probably make that happen. Yeah.
Yes. That's a great idea.
Yep.
Yes.
I would like to point out, while you got this picture up, because you see Dean right there, and Jackie said having a ridiculous hat makes it really easy to find your group, because there's a lot of people walking on the track.
You're not wrong. Yeah. Yes,
Dean has a hat made of natural light case cardboard.
Which doesn't fare well in the actual rain. They were actually concerned about this because it's a hat. He didn't make it, but it's still made of paperish material, and in the rain doesn't work well. But it was great. So we had small backpacks in addition to the backpack that Chris is wearing. I have a nice Osprey backpack because you need a jacket, you might need a poncho, need some snacks. So So yeah, it's worth it to make sure that you have the bags, and they didn't measure it. If you brought something bigger, they would have said no. But the problem is, even if you're on the cusp of whatever it is, you still have to put it under your legs. So it's still where you're sitting. So even if you are by something on the larger side, then you have to, and then of course it's bleachers. So you have to get people to be able to smush in front of you. So if it's in the hallway, it's annoying.
Yeah, right.
Your backpack lens.
Yep. And a friend of ours got us these lovely Mercedes polo shirts.
You got a rep, yo.
We look spectacular.
You look dashing. Yes.
Yeah, we certainly do.
Thank you.
And I believe this is more of the track walk. Yes, this is on one of the chicanes there. This is with Dean and Jackie. And then we had more. This is at the awards ceremony that had already happened. This is where the award ceremony is, but this is the kind of throng of people you were walking through at this section of the straight there.
You can just walk right after.
That's a confident young lady up front. I don't know, I would wear that outfit, but I'm glad she likes herself that much.
I didn't realize I think I have a picture of me standing in front of it, but I didn't give you that one. Sorry.
I don't think you're wearing that outfit.
That is not. No, that's not me. No,
although
you saw what I was,
which is nice. It was kind of hot sometimes, so having it being a little cooler would be good.
And that's why I got the white hat, and then you added the white shirt, which is helpful. There's me sitting on turn one, just because.
Just because.
And
with
I didn't
warm
know
beer.
It was with a warm beer.
Actually,
but a lot of people
two warm beers.
But we kept saying, this is the first time in almost ever that you're in that many people, that you're like, I'm swimming.
Years, right.
Well, but I mean, like to be with 100,000 other people is like a Penn State game is about the only, there's me with in front of the awards where the award ceremony happens, and but it's already over, and there's some rain. But yeah, there was just a lot of people. You're just in a sea, and you just trudge along.
After the last couple of years, especially, it was kind of strange to be in that many people.
Yeah. Okay. And you guys did mention while you were there, you got to see some of Montreal, historically a lovely place, and you're confirming that it's a lovely place, except for restaurant that doesn't let you drink.
Yeah, didn't see as much because we weren't in the city, but everything we saw was very nice.
That's wonderful.
Put up with our terrible French, and occasionally I lapse into Spanish instead of French.
Can I tell my quick French story?
Please.
Yes. Okay. So this is my favorite French story. So I go into, we decided that I wanted to get a shirt that said Giovanni circuit rather than one that said Ferrari, right? Like I wanted to get a shirt from the location. So I go into the store, and fortunately I find a rack full of smalls, and then of course ones that say 2022, 2021, right? So I find a small, and I'm like, this is perfect, exactly what I want. And then we decided to get another shirt, and so this one wasn't on sale. So I go up to the guy and I put them down, and I say, en promotion, and he says, oh, oui, en promotion. And so he doesn't even look at the other shirt. he gives them both to me for like for the
sale price.
Yeah, for the sale price. And I was like, which
was still expensive, but still. Yeah.
I'm like, this is so great. I'm so excited. And so
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
I not only like walked away with one sale shirt, I got 2 sale shirts. So my French, he was surprised about me coming up with this. Says, oh, le t-shirt sont en promotion. And he was like, oh, oui. And of course, he knows that I don't speak any French. And then Chris is like, see. And we're like,
I do the same thing. Vicky kept making fun of me because I would default to Spanish.
Yep. So did he.
Like we'd be in the back of a cab and they'd be talking, oh yeah, see. She's like, you're not Mexican. Stop it. Yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
Right. See. And then he would go, oh, and then he was like, and then the guy, whoever we were talking to would laugh. And so they very much appreciated that we tried. And then they were like, oh, this is great. And so half the time,
literally everywhere but America. Yeah. If you just try to speak their language, they're so happy.
Yeah, I know. I was even just trying to like muddle through, and they were just like, and they were like, but you don't want the gravy, right? And I was like, I like they're trying to like clarify. They're trying to clarify what I did or did not want on my poutine, and then I was like, oh wait, yeah, yes, okay, great. So yeah, no, they were very appreciative.
Scene gravy, yes.
No, but it was awesome. It was planned to spend, well, maybe you wouldn't, but we spent a freaking lot of money. Not only for tickets. Also, we'll just tell you right up front. So we were ready to buy the tickets, really expensive. And then they had a stupid service fee on top of it that just made us like actually throw up.
Because
Ticketmaster sucks.
But then we decided to go along with it anyway. We're like, this is going to be an experience and it's going to be great. So we did it anyway.
It was good.
No, I'm not saying it's not, but I'm just saying it got worse when we pushed go. And then we were going to get cash in, what do they use?
Loonies.
Loonies. Oh, I remember looking at it.
Canadian dollars.
We were going to get loonies, and then we decided just use your credit card everywhere. So we just swiped it everywhere. I think it was Dean and Jackie had some inconsistencies that it worked sometimes and didn't work sometimes. Might have been just the track square, whatever they were using, but it worked every time we used it. So
we had that problem. Like a Visa would work and the American Express wouldn't, and the American Express would work and the Visa wouldn't.
Yeah.
Our Visa worked fine the whole time.
Yeah, it was hurting. It put up a white flag. Stop using me, please.
A phrase Donnie used in Alaska was water cooled credit card, and I understood.
Oh yeah, but it was great. It was a lot. But yeah, one for the books.
Would recommend.
Would recommend.
Fantastic. We're just going to call that our on the spot. Just go to a race. If you're not in a place or you don't like Formula One, go to an IMSA race, go to the 24 Hours of Daytona, go to Laguna, go someplace, go to a NASCAR race. I actually still enjoy going to NASCAR races, but go experience a race. Don't just watch a race. So,
can I do a quick, just the tip that I usually do at this time of year?
Never mind. We do have, hold on. No.
Yeah.
It's time for just
the
Zoom is taking your Zoom thinks that you're not actually saying anything. I just want to do some quick safety reminders on yard work and wearing proper gear. So you're in the yard, it's hot out. Make sure you're wearing actual shoes and not flip-flops, safety glasses all the time, because you never know what's going to flip up and hit you in the face.
Flip-flops.
Your safety flip-flops are not legal. They are not good. So, and we probably should wear better shoes than we're wearing. We just wear normal sneakers, but at least that's something. So make sure that you're wearing stuff, drinking a lot of water, because it's easy to just want to drink a beer, but it is usually I don't even know how hot it is where your place is. So I have nothing to complain about here, but it's pretty darn hot. So wear your safety gear, because you never know what's going to come flying at you. We wear hearing protection if you're wearing earbuds, and then put earmuffs over on top of it. Just don't skimp on it, but also make sure that you are checking yourself for ticks, especially on East Coast. I don't know, West Coast. 109. Cool.
109, 630. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So my mom just got a tick on her. They think they got it all out. So make sure that you're actually checking yourself for ticks, especially on the East Coast. I don't know what ticks probably don't live where you live, but they do here. So
they have like scorpions and stuff.
We have scorpions, and they make their presence known pretty quickly.
Okay. Well, ticks don't. So they just like to stick on you and your animals and that kind of stuff. So make sure you're checking. So they're still out because she just got one and it's just right now. So yeah, just be serious and be careful when you're out doing stuff in your yard. Just there's your FYI. Wear gloves. Never know what's going to stick in you. Thanks.
Any idea what we're going to do next week?
Well, I think we'll probably talk about the PVGP. That seems like a good idea.
We probably will.
Right? Yeah.
Right, cool.
And then we got Thompson coming up soon, so maybe that'll be the week after. I think we'll do Thompson pre-race. So
okay.
All righty.
Sounds good.
We'll be here.
Yes, we will.
Okay. I do not have music queued up. I'm sorry.
Oh crap.
Sorry.
Well, Mental, talk about something. You can ad lib something for about 30 seconds while I get this going, right? I know
this is our first show, this is, what happens, it's 03.
Sooner or later, I don't know, 314 or so, we are going to do our 300th and change anniversary episode. If you got some ideas, you got something you want to talk about, let us know on that one. Check all of our social media this weekend. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it, and you should check all of that stuff out. So I know that you guys all were liking and commenting on everything we were doing in Alaska, and we can't thank you enough for that. That was so much fun, and having y'all along for the ride was absolutely worth it. And you're going to see this much, if not more, cool stuff this weekend at the Pittsburgh.
This weekend, if you have cars that you want to see, a different type of car, if you want to see a different year of car, it's going to be vintage cars, but there is every brand
all going to be there.
Think
everything.
Of. So
even
if there is,
you didn't know existed.
And there's like one of one cars that are one of one. So if there's something that you want to see, or like just want to see cool things from the British group, you will hear Chris talking to all the people from the British group. So it's going to be really fun.
Get a hold of us on any of our social medias. Text me at the number he's about to go off in there and say, hey, go back and get a picture of this one.
Totally.
Yeah. And hey, thanks for downloading us. We really hope you enjoyed this week's Formula One edition of Everyone Racers. Hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, building, and sitting in the rain, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe for free. Go to iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. I don't care what you think, 5 stars, and tell us why. If you have questions or show ideas or want to see anything at the PVGP, drop us a comment all over the place. Facebook, Everyone Racers. Email us, everyone.racers@gmail. Text Mental 484-243-0455. Tell him what kind of junk you want him to send you pictures of from the event, right? He likes to send junk pictures too. Find us on Instagram and Twitter at everyone.racers, YouTube and Facebook, Everyone Racers, even Reddit/E1R. Thanks again. And until next week, just keep your arrow side up. Unless there's no arrow, then you just got that floor with all the weird stuff that throws the rain up in the air, and just keep your wheels down. No red flags.